We are live.
Hi.
What's up, everyone? Kaijino Kami here from the Toku and Animation News Network with
Krelika Kane.
and we are here to talk about Gozyuger episodes 37 to 42. And a lot has happened in that time.
In the series or in real life?
In real life. Because when we last did a live stream, we ended with Sumino had recovered Oto, but she was still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Ray had been imprisoned for his crimes, which that plot does indeed seem to be done. Which, okay, sure, whatever. And then we had a two-parter with Kinjiro and a friend that ended with his friend saying, "Let's go out drinking," and him saying, "I can't because I'm currently underage."
And his friend saying, "We'll just become an old man for the night."
Yep. And that's how the episode ends. Then we have just before 37's about to air. Oh, Maya Imamori has been fired from the show from her talent agency for drinking underage.
Mm-hmm.
Which has caused...
Allegedly.
Oh, the agency was said she was.
Oh, okay.
When the reports first came out, she was drinking.
I thought it was alleged still.
It was alleged weeks later. Because a couple weeks later, they said, she might not have actually been drinking. She might have just...
So we can still say alleged because there is no...
I don't know. I don't get the whole situation. But so she's fired from the show. So finally we have watched all these episodes since her termination. And obviously we'll go through each episode. But that also then suddenly put a stain on the show because the show's already struggling enough to be enjoyable.
Yes. Well, as we talked about last night, because apparently when we are taking walks for my diet and everything, we have these existential talks. And apparently our existential talk yesterday was all about Gozyuger in preparation for today. And some of the things that we'll highlight as we're going through these episodes, but I want to preface from the start, is that, one, this show has had messy writing from the beginning, from the onset. Two, this show has had production issues from the onset with the different accusations about Imamori and things like that with stalking and all those random things. Three, we had in the midst of all of this, a lot of chaos going around about the future of Super Sentai. So this particular series has been mired with controversy that's not even related to the show itself. And finally, to recap it, one of the things that I've said to him as we go through these episodes.
Oh yeah, because we had the show ending was also after the last live stream.
Yes.
Holy crap! So there also was that going on.
So the one and final thing that I know that people have said in the comments about the show themselves is that this is one of their favorite shows, that they really enjoy the show. And I want to say still, for all the people who enjoy the show, there is nothing wrong with enjoying the show. And I'm not saying that to be like appeasing or anything like that, saying, kumbaya, everybody can like what they like. In reality, that is the truth. But while you can enjoy a show for what it is, you should be open and able to take a step back from a show that you enjoy and notice all the flaws with it. And I'm going to give a quick example, brief, before we get into this. one of my favorite guilty pleasures is a show called High School of the Dead. That show is boob-tastic. It is very simplistic writing. It is 150,000% fan service, with some elements of people enjoying it for horror. Sadly, the manga will never be finished because the mangaka has passed away. The season, it's only 12 episodes plus a 7-minute OVA. That's really expensive to buy, even in America. That is complete pander and fluff. Now, if you ask him to watch the show, he will refuse.
Well, I watched the first few episodes. I was not impressed. Except for that one scene with the two girls. We're best friends forever. Get off me, you stupid bitch.
So, I have watched the show at least 10 times. I own the manga. I have the anime. Up until a few months ago, before I gave it away to somebody, I had the 7-minute OVA. And then I was like, I'm never going to watch this again because it did nothing. But anytime somebody talks bad about the show, it's like, yeah, it has flaws. It is complete fluff. My favorite scene of the anime and of the manga is when he is shooting a gun off a chick's breasts, using it as a way to keep it steady as he's shooting. I know that is bad. I know it's terrible writing. I know it is pandering to a specific audience. And apparently I'm a part of that audience because, as our friends say, it is an anime of culture. And the term culture is basically perversion. But I say that to say I have a guilty pleasure show that I know is awful to a lot of people, and I know it's awful. The writing is not great, but I love it. So, for any fans of the show, please be open to criticism. You can ride or die the show, but be open to criticism. Now, going back to the series at hand,
Gozyuger.
There are things in these episodes that we watch that we actually like. There are things in these episodes that we watch that we have argued about. And I had to say, you know what? We're done talking about this because we're just going to have a fight about a fucking television show. Like, we literally got this close to having a full-on argument.
Not really.
Oh, about this show. So, if you want to know the inner workings of our relationship, please stick with us and enjoy. So we begin with episode 37.
Yes, which is the first episode when everything went down. So they had to practically wipe Imamori from the entire episode. There is not a single sequence with her in it. Unsuited. With Sumino in it.
The character Sumino.
Goju Unicorn is in it. There's someone impersonating her voice very badly. But there is no Sumino in this episode. However, the editing is so awful and horrible. But first...
What's the episode about?
First, we get a new villain named Ribbon, who is made to be a little sister to Bouquet. And I did sort of like her design. She has a T-Rex, Triceratops head on the back of her head. And a T-Rex for a butt, apparently.
Yeah, she's very Gothic Lolita-ish as well. And she has ribbons around her because part of the wedding thing is a lot of the ribbons, especially when you think of having
and Takajun is like, oh, I was trying to make her into a human character, not a monstrous character. Okay, whatever. But So she goes to Earth, and they, for some reason, Kumade's coat when they're fighting blows away because they were fighting some. So for some
They're
reason,
fighting the no one of the week.
no, I think this was before because this was before the no one showed up because the fashion no one. They were fighting for something, and Kumade's coat blew away, or Ribbon came by and took it. I forget exactly how it happened, but Kumade's like, "Where's my coat? Where's my coat?" And he goes all into this depression mode, where he's rolling on the ground like,
And
no.
And basically, when they're trying to fight the fashion no one.
But so we get introduced to Fashion No One, who I actually did really like the design to.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best thing about this episode. But yeah, they're fighting Fashion No One, and everyone but Sumino is standing in this auditorium. But when they transform, all of a sudden, Goju Unicorn is there in the middle of battle fighting. Like, what? Where did she come from?
Well, and obviously, they can't recut everything because they'd have to reshoot. However, one of the things that we found out as we're watching these episodes is that they had a few weeks to work on editing, especially episode 37.
Yeah, because
where they could have done a better job.
Yeah, it was just, and let's see what else. Those were only my notes. Was just the editing. I really did like Fashion No One's design. I thought that was really cool. But then we have Rikuo is trying to teach Hoero all these fashion things, and it was just like, what?
Well, as somebody put in the comments, and we'll go through the comments officially, is that it felt like it was a clip showish itself. Because it felt like there was a lot cut out, and there was a lot that had to be padded into it.
There was a lot cut out in all these episodes.
But the one thing that you could tell with this is you could tell when they had to create some new footage because you could feel the padding of it. And the one challenge with any sort of television show, more so than movies, because television shows, it's a regular occurrence, is you can feel as an audience member padding because it makes it go longer. And how you can tell there was padding is some of the fight sequences were slowed down a little.
Yeah, there were a lot of slowdowns. When they were doing their henshin chant sequence, they were slowing down the footage a bit to go a bit in slow motion.
Yes.
Because clearly they were slowing it down to make up for the transformation scene of Sumino. And yeah, it felt like a really long episode, even though it wasn't a long episode. And Kumade, I don't even know, that was such a badly acted scene of when he just rolled
I almost feel like that was filmed afterwards.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Because that just felt somewhat tacked on.
And it dragged on, too. Because that scene was way too long. I was going, rolling down the...
It actually made me feel like there was more in the original episode, which we'll never know unless somebody does, like, a cut. That there had to have been more with Sumino, because Sumino's character was somewhat of a fashionista. So this feels like it would have been more of a Sumino.
Well, they clearly cut out all the scenes that was supposed to be of her dressing up, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't just the four guys dressing up. But okay, I did like the one scene though when they're doing in that though when Ryuji does his pick. And Rikyo walks out in just Ryuji's robes.
Yes, literally.
And they're just like, what?
It makes sense, though. For Ryuji, his fashion is literally what he wears.
But, and then we have, Ribbon shows up and doesn't want the coat anymore. Gives it to Bouquet. Bouquet takes it back to Kamade and says, okay, we're even now.
Yes.
And then she leaves.
Which I almost feel like there was possibly a little bit more of her in the episode that had to be taken out, possibly because it connected with...
Now, then our next episode, which I really liked, but you can tell there was stuff missing.
Well, you could tell it was supposed to be some sort of a two-parter.
Because our next episode, we start off, Hoyoru has a job now at some fancy restaurant again. Or, it was catering.
Catering,
And
yes.
Kuon shows up, does this little, like, oh, yeah, my wish is for us to be together again, which he's really passing on those creepy vibes.
But, surprisingly, his acting in the scenes for this episode was the best he's acted.
Which is funny, because then this episode we just watched, his acting went back down.
Oh, yeah, no, the acting in this episode was the best of his
I
series.
feel like it's really Koga's actor that made it work. So, and then Kuon comes across their old friend who was helping them when they were in
He
No
was
One
like
World,
a father figure in No One
who
World.
is played by the actor who plays Koga in Garo. And he has the Deca Red Ring, which I love when he goes like this, and just like he did in the position that he would do with Zaruba. And
oh, I was getting so many Garo vibes.
And I really liked this episode, but again, you could tell things were missing. You could tell there was. I really feel like the in prison sequence that should have been 2 episodes.
Well, and
Sumino's not anywhere to be seen in this prison scene. They're all trapped in this prison, but when they transform, all of a sudden Goju Unicorn is there. Like, how did she get in the interdimensional prison that she never got sucked into?
And you knew she was supposed to be there because the way they did the cut sometimes.
Oh, the cropping was.
They had the crop scenes and then pull them forward so it would look like they did with Kumade so many times. Kumade, as well as Kuon. They had, anytime you could tell there was a scene where it could have had.
It was closed up because they had
yes.
Had to zoom in a bit.
And the reason why you could tell this was somehow 2 episodes is because in their 2 episodes, when they do something like this, all of the story is in one, all of the fighting is in the second. Like, there is some fighting, but there's more. Because the fighting in this episode was fast-forwarded.
And then Ribbon makes the comment about that she's actually secretly really devious and wants to take over, but nothing came of that. They all escaped the prison, and Kuon reveals his true intentions by taking the Deca Red Ring, and Ribbon just leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, but what was her purpose there then? She did absolutely nothing. But I did like when the 3 of them, Kuon, Hoyoru, and the Master, Koga, all transformed together. That was a really kick-ass scene.
I actually liked how whenever he transformed, you would see green, reminiscent of
the Makai fire that he uses in Garo.
So I liked how they honored him being a Toku actor in a different franchise in different elements.
Well, it reminded me of the suit actor who played Lupin Red when he was doing all his various motions from various episodes that he did the suit acting from various poses. I thought that was really cool. So I like that aspect. I really liked this episode a lot, despite its editing nightmares.
And pacing issues.
I liked the camaraderie between Koga and Kuon Hoyoru. I thought the fight scene was really cool. Koyo, that was his name.
Yes.
Koyo. What was the?
I thought it was Kyo.
I have Koyo.
Maybe it's Koyo.
But I liked it a lot. I felt like him being a veteran Toku actor really helped the acting for Hoyoru and Kuon.
Yes. It's kind of like when you had any episode that had a more veteran actor in it.
Well, they clearly had good chemistry together with him. So I liked it a lot. And what else happened? trying to think, there was something else, but I didn't write it down that was in this episode. But either way, I like.
Now we come to
his Deca Red, his super form, his Deca Fire form. I'm like, is that from the newest movie? Because I don't remember that being in the 10th anniversary movie. So I guess I have to watch the 20th anniversary movie.
I was going to say, I haven't watched the series.
Well, I still have to watch the DVDs. So we'll just watch them next year. But, because I have to do an updated review for Deca Ranger anyway.
But, now we come to the worst episode of the series. And here's why I'm going to call it the worst episode, but give it a little bit of praise. One, we have voice actor extraordinaire Seki.
Tomokazu Seki back because Toei apparently fired him, and he now has come to collect the rings or learn about the rings or something like that, because he's trying to get Toei to give him a job again.
So the first about 3/4 of the episode is basically a clip show. But it is the worst sort of clip show because it is just showing the male characters. The female character, even suited, barely exists.
Well, and then, we also have the episode starts, Ribbon is just dancing in the leaves, and that was like, okay. Then we have another scene after a few of the clips. It cuts to Shining Knife and Fire Candle talking. And Shining Knife is talking, and then it just cuts him off mid-sentence for the commercial break.
Oh, it was a terrible cut.
Or if his sentence was over, it was so abrupt that it didn't feel like it.
It's kind of like when you sometimes do a cut, and you cut perfectly at the end of your sentence, and you're like, did he actually finish his sentence? Or no.
But
you are still amateur compared to professionals that have been doing this for years. And it's not an insult to you. I'm just saying.
But it was just, he's cut off mid-sentence so you can have the Gozyuger SP for special episode logo pop up. And then they go back to Seki and Hoeru talking about the rings again, doing it in a video game style. And then it cuts to Ribbon eating a full, there's like this whole table of desserts.
Then gets a call. No, Hoeru gets a call, says, you got to be kidding me. He leaves. And that's when it
cuts this table, and then it goes to commercial again, because then the SP Gozyuger logo pops up. But then when it comes back, they're all in the middle of battle. Like, what?
And you could tell this battle was taken from a different episode, because this episode was not supposed to have existed.
Yeah, well, I guess, so episode 38, the Kuan, the Deca Red episode, was supposed to be 39, at least, and the scenes from this episode was supposed to be the proper 38.
Yes.
But it was just, okay, but Ribbon was just eating at a table. There were like people tied up. But now suddenly they're in the middle of battle with no rhyme or reason for it. We have no idea. And they never actually rescued the people that were tied up. We have no idea what happened to all those desserts. And
you're really concerned about the desserts?
Yes.
Oh my God. Are you hungry?
No, I'm just.
Okay.
There's all these desserts at the table. They all look delicious, and then nothing's done with them. Nothing's done with the people. Like, were the people turning into desserts, or did the people get eaten by the desserts? But we have this whole battle, which introduces the Tega Sword form of Unicorn, which is like the only interaction she has the entire time with Ribbon. Is that one fight sequence?
Which you could tell that means it was supposed to be a Sumino episode.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously they couldn't do a Sumino episode.
And then the battle ends, and they go right back to Hoeru talking to Seki, who steals the Gold Ranger ring and runs off.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yes.
The episode was horribly edited. It was pointless. You could skip that episode and not miss anything. Because obviously Goju Unicorn being able to turn into take a sword mode has no purpose.
So before we get to the comments and before we go to episodes 40 to 42, I want to kind of do a quick insert to discuss an element of the writing and the directing. So when you have to do cutting of episodes, cutting of story, the writer's room and the director's room are involved. They have to know the basics of like, how can we salvage, how can we make this work? Sometimes it's more of the director's responsibility than the writer's. Sometimes the writer has to be involved to help clean up things.
You're trying to be way too kind on this.
Well, I'm explaining just the background. But I will say, this is where I blame both the writers and the directors for how these episodes were done. Now, once again, they weren't told Monday and they had to go to air Wednesday. They were told Monday. I'm using general dates. They were told Monday, October 1st. I know that's not true. I'm just giving a basic. Monday, October 1st, let's say. And they had to go to air Friday, October 15th. I know that's not correct either, but
yeah, we get the point.
It's the point of they were given 2 weeks. Now, 2 weeks is not a long time. I understand. But it is a long time when you have the episode signed, sealed, and delivered, and you just have to fix it. So the concern is nobody understood the assignment appropriately. And they failed the series. Now, love it or hate them, these episodes were a failure of Toei, the directors, and the writers. Don't care, not even going to put anything else out there. This was a business decision that they did not do appropriately. Now, when we get to episodes 40 on forward, going to have a different perspective. But before we get there, I want to go through some of the comments because we have quite a few.
Yes, we have a lot of comments.
So we have Anthony Kubernete and Axel Tovar, who all have said hello. Kubernete also said, and the A Games all said hello. Hello, everyone. And I understand missing Maya-chan, Kubernete. The challenge is, and we're going to get in this a little bit, but I hate to say it, it kind of is what it is in a way. So Axel asked the question, so has Mashiro sort of gone better than the last couple of episodes? Oh, for the series. So not too much has it gotten better. I saw a report that she was working with alcohol via being for Maya. And so the challenge is we're never going to get the full story because nobody is ever going to release full, accurate story of what had happened. I heard the same rumor that she was doing part-time work at a bar, working around alcohol. Not necessarily drinking, but in the realm of it that she could have. I think for what happened to Maya, this is 1,000% the failure of her talent agency. They did not do appropriate training. They did not do appropriate support.
So much so that even TV Asahi has now said they will make sure this never happens again.
Exactly.
They will do better to train the actors at the agency and protect them better. So they are doing what the agency should have been doing.
Which, that to me, shows accountability from Toei and TV Asahi to say, this was a failing on them as well. They're acknowledging, hey, things went on that shouldn't have. And they're also not holding Maya accountable for paying for all of these reshoots. They're making the agency, and they've explicitly told the agency, you are not to go after her for the debts you incur by your failure to protect and train your employee appropriately. So as much as we miss her, unfortunately, a very large series of unfortunate events have happened, and there's nothing we can do to change it, as disappointing as it is. However, I hope they all take this as a cautionary tale. Even Maya, I hope her as an actress takes this as a cautionary tale for the growth of her own future career. Kubernetes says they still enjoy Gozyuger. It's super fun, but yes, it has bad episodes and bad writing. And see, that's the way it should be. Not that it should be bad. I just mean that if you're a fan, any fan should be able to look at it from both perspectives. When it came to the openings for 37, 39, they basically turned 37 into a clip show that's airing. Episode 39 opening was a clip show of past Universe Warriors. I will say I did like how they played around with the openings a little bit to make it where when they took out Sumino from them, they made it still work where it
Which is funny because you were the one complaining that they didn't do the dancing in that.
Oh, no, I didn't like the fact that they didn't do the dancing. The dancing is kind of one of my favorite parts. It is bad that I actually wanted them to completely write Sumino out of the show. So this is where we're going to get into elements of our argument soon. Did I just hear...
Oh, I need to get water.
Did I just hear Karelika say a show is boobtastic or was that just the audio? No, literally, High School of the Dead is boobtastic. That is my description of the show. It's not only fantastic, it is boobtastic, boobalicious. And Kubernetes says, I know, right? The premise are ring wearers and the rings choose the wearers. They just kill Sumino and replace her with somebody else. But as someone pointed out, Oto could have replaced Sumino. Now, M. Cena says, hello, Kaiju. The A-Game says 37 episodes. Edited scenes are crazy. Episode says 37 per Kubernetes is a rush editing. It's painful. Where's my coat? That is good for Emilio. Hi, Emilio. So is Fire Candle still the only character carrying the show? Yes. And I have comments on that too. When blew his coat away, Ribbon found it. Kuma tried to retrieve it from Ribbon, only got a gold piece. Oh, yes, that's what she gave him. I saw some people say they're interested in watching Gozyuger now because Oni's sister actress is now Sumino, which is rude, but whatever makes them enjoy something. And they didn't air a preview at the end of 37's episode. It just went to sponsors.
Yep.
Well, Kohaku-chan is a good actress, and I don't blame them, but even to me, there's no replacing Maya-chan. Kamenar64, hello.
Hello.
Hello, we're here because Seiju and this show sucks. Gozyuger is horrible, and this is from ZZ the Dark, so hello ZZ the Dark, more so than Mega Force and Super Mega Force will ever be. I have not seen both of those series, but I have heard tale of how horrible they did Gozyuger and Gokaiger Journey. Fun fact regarding episode 38 from VA Games. Did you know that during the week before this episode's airing, Sahi decided to accidentally air the preview for what the original Sumino episode...
I downloaded the episode preview.
Oh, we'll have to watch that.
Yep, I downloaded it. I actually have it up on one of the YouTube accounts as a private setting, just because I wanted to see if it would get taken down. But I have it so I can reference it in my review next year.
And Mobile C says, hello, Kaiju and Karelika. ZZ Dark says, Goju Unicorn before Kohaku's reformatting may as well be an animation error. She's a transformer. I like that. Oh my God. Now I'm going to think of Robots in Disguise now. I wonder if we're going to see a Gozyuger and Super Space Sheriff Gavin Infinity handoff. I don't know how that's going to work.
No, I think the handoff should be Goju Wolf tagging Aka Ranger.
ZZ the Dark says, Ribbon sucks as a villain, not to mention as a person too. Yes. She was an asshole who wanted to overthrow Take June.
And did nothing. She did nothing. But we'll get into that with the next question.
Axel Tovar says, well, I was stupid to think Kuon would join the team as a replacement for Sumino. That would have been interesting. I actually think Bouquet could have done it. But so do you think Ninja Red will be an actual character? I don't know.
Huh?
From Axel Tovar. So you think Ninja Red. Now we've been, ZZ Dark says, no, we've been fooled before. He led us, though it's good to see a villain actually wanting to be villainous. We haven't seen that in a while. So there is no redemption for the Ring Hunter now.
Let's hope not.
Then doubling down on Kuon makes me wonder if it's a reshoot or was planned all along. I feel like it's the former. I will say there are certain elements of Kuon that I feel like were reshoots. Because like I said, for the catering part of it, that was the best acting of his entire time on the series. If that was a reshoot, like what? Did he go to acting classes? And I'm not trying to disparage the man. The actor for him, he's passable, but...
I think he is one of Sentai's worst actors ever.
I think Deca Ranger form is the 20th anniversary special, if they recall. That's per Kubernetes. So whatever happened to the King Oger universe guy? Oh my God, you asked that question last night. We're walking and he comes out of nowhere and he's like, so when are they going to bring back the King Oger?
Oger.
I was like, shut up. That's my answer. He never exists. Let that be a bingo card thing. I love that.
Or somebody said, no, he'll return the versus Boom Boom Jer movie.
And episode 39 has a weird placement for the sponsors. There's the opening for the episode, the segment with the Toei employee comes in, and then the segment ends with the episode sponsors. Like, what? Star Wars fan, hello. Random BS, it's Gozyuger's name. Grant Smith, hello. Okay, first off, Goju Unicorn is not an imposter. Her actor got replaced because people are fucking stupid and the original actor was fired for underage drinking. Perfect answer, Grant. It is, truthfully, it's not imposter. He was doing that for fun, but you encapsulated the whole drama in one sentence. Thank you. My hat's off to you. Mobile C says I give Toei credit that they knew what they were doing when they cast Kohaku as Sumino's replacement. I have a comment on that. Honestly, would have been better to have a small few-week hiatus to rewrite and transfer the ring to Oto. We will discuss that in a moment because that's part of our argument. Yep, and the worst PR seasons aren't even close to this level. Damn. Power Rangers series.
I know.
Goju Unicorn fight was real good use of...
Don't you mean Powerful Rangers? Because that's the original for Sentai, right? Powerful Rangers?
Yes.
Okay, thought so.
Goju Unicorn fight was real good use of swordplay and the super armor, which the previous two didn't have much of. I got news per Star Wars fan. After 15 years since the manga concluded, Siren is getting an anime at last. Oh, really? Damn. That long to get an anime? I'm just wanting to see the fan design Ranger come to life. Even then, that's just shady at this point, considering the stupid show. 4, Gozyuger. I wonder if Gavin and Fitting and Zetsu will appear in Superhero Time Block. I am hoping and praying. As I recently said before, Gozyuger is the most cursed entry in the Sentai series.
I actually I just feel like every anniversary series is cursed in some way.
You're cursed. You're cursed.
Because O Ranger had the earthquake and the gas attack. Gokaiger had the earthquake. This show has the firing of Imamori of an actor. I just feel like all the big anniversary stuff is cursed.
So I like this damn straight. So we can call Seiju Shitju and Bunshun as they are called bullshit. And Maya did post an apology post. She then put her social media on private. So to be truthful, she had no other choice but to apologize.
Her apology doesn't necessarily mean she actually did it. It's just she was told, you are required to post an apology. And then that was it.
But by the way, Kaiju, can't wait for your O-Ranger review. Watched it multiple times. It's actually really good.
Actually really good?
I was waiting to see if you'd hear me. Kamen 64. Boom, 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 boom. Grant's comment in all caps. Did someone compare Gozyuger to Super Mega Force? Yes. Looks like Sentai is ending on a whimper, then a bang.
Yep.
You know what I just remembered? We are past episode 40. Whatever happened with the Origa Red character from the Red Ranger contest? Is that now being the TTFC save, or is he just going to be in the show? Oh, wait, yes. The Origa Red. You know, the Red Ranger contest that happened earlier in the show? Gozyu Red.
Which Red Ranger contest?
Oh, God, I can't remember the episode. Gozyu Red Aka Ranger is a great idea for closing the torch. I think you mentioned that, too.
Aka Ranger?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
I just mentioned that like 4 minutes ago.
I've caught up on all the comments. Apologies for reading a lot. There's a lot of comments. I just wanted to make sure that we call out them. But yes, I think the funniest thing is somebody has compared, and you're going to have to post on your socials, Gozyuger equals Super Mega Force. Zenkaiger, oh wait, hold on. What do we have for Zenkaiger? Zenkaiger also had a cast firing with Gigi. Oh, yes!
Yeah, that's right, because his voice actor, yep.
Oh my God, they are
Gege,
cars!
Gege, yes, the bird.
Yeah, G-E. Okay, now, I am going to start with one thing. And this is actually not where you wanted to start, but so have you ever watched a television show or a movie where you have somebody who is really good at acting, really good, like stellar? And I'm not talking about the A-list actors and actresses in Hollywood. I just mean like that actor or actress.
Bryan Cranston.
Yes, that can come into a show or a movie and without intending to, they run circles around the rest of the cast unintentionally. That their acting is just so good that it kind of is a slap in the face to everybody else saying, you're not here yet. You got work. Well, if we all remember a show from a few years ago where our main character was this high school girl who even then demonstrated she was such a good actress that she could hold her own being the main character, even if you had a lot of other characters in the show. Because she had to be kooky, she had to be crazy, and she worked with actors and actresses that were on her level because the entire show had stellar acting. I know you have a problem with the Blue because you thought the Blue Ranger wasn't the greatest.
No, I thought acting-wise he was fine. It was just characterization.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't really have an actual character arc.
We had a great character, a great actress who demonstrated being a main character for the first time in history where a female ranger was the main character, that she could hold it and still give breathing room to everybody else, and everybody else still shined with her holding it. Well, now we come in a few years later when she has continued working, and she has even CGI'd in the scene. So she might not even be physically in a scene. Well, yeah, whatever. She might not even be physically in the scene with the people, but she has somehow found a way to take shit, even though the episode she premiered in was probably my favorite of the episodes we watched, and still find ways to either run circles around the rest of the
She
cast
managed to turn
acting.
shit to gold.
And also, the episodes where she was physically with somebody for reshoots, she helped them become stronger. And I am talking about our new Sumino.
Hakushino.
She, one, was incredible in Dawn Brothers. She was by far my favorite. And I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the female characters because sometimes they really do go the I'm the female route where they literally are the female. And, well, every character in Dawn Brothers was well written, well acted. Now we have her here, and it's like, holy shit. I thought some of the actors were good or okay for the series. And it's like, holy shit. When you bring her onto the screen with them, or just even into the episodes, they still have no fucking clue what they're doing at 40 episodes. So, do you agree?
Oh, she destroyed all of them acting. I mean, I've never found the acting in this show to be the greatest. For Sentai, it's been one of the weakest, but she just steamrolled over everybody.
The only person who is on her caliber in the show was mentioned earlier in the comments, and is the actor for Fire
Well,
Candle.
I'd say Kinjiro's actors.
Oh, Kinjiro, he's going to have a fantastic fucking career. But I would say
But Fire Candle has been the best thing. He's also been the most consistently written character.
He's the only character in episode 42, just to skip ahead briefly, that made that episode palatable. But let's go back to episode 40. So Sumino walks in and she rushes right up to...
Well, she does this little narration as she's going into...
that she's been on the case and she had to ask Tegasword to change her appearance. Not really explaining why. The only one person looks at her like, you look different. And it was Rikuo.
I thought it was Kinjiro.
No, it was Rikuo because she had Rikuo's mirror.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And she goes up to Tegasword, and Tegasword's figure is not even there. It's on a health break, so you have a false idol. And she gets mad, and then she is like, but using the mirror,
Well, her appearance was changed for a case, and for some reason, Tegasword couldn't restore her.
No.
And we get all this in exposition. It was all tell, not show. And we don't even know what this case was. Like, was it because did she have to change her appearance because she was having a case with people that already knows what she looks like or who she is? Was it some big crime ring she was trying to hide herself from? What was this case about that she needed to change her appearance?
But so she demonstrates as the Sumino character, which was in character for Sumino, Vanity. And she's holding Rikuo's mirror, and she's just like acting like Haruka for a second with mannerisms about her beauty, which was hilarious.
And then she does the only ears.
And that was hilarious because you got two things. You got an explanation of why her face has changed. And you got a tongue-in-cheek reference to her being an entirely different person who has existed in universe somehow before. Now, do you want to get into the discussion briefly about why we nearly got into a knockout, drag-out fight? Not literally physically, because he would kick my ass and I would have to kick him in the balls. But about...
Okay. So, there's a lot of things on this. One, they could have just had it be like, she says, oh, now that I fulfilled my wish to retrieve my sister, I'm going to just spend all my days I'm being here with her to wake her up, so I can't be Gozyu Unicorn anymore. So Tegasor is like, okay, cool. I'll find a new host for Gozyu Unicorn. Boom, done. That's all you had to do. Next thing, they could have just had Oto show up saying, yeah, I woke up, Sumino had to go on a case in America, so I've taken over the role of Gozyu Unicorn.
Why is it always America? No, legitimately, why is it?
Actually, no. She's a detective. Paris.
Okay, fine. It's always America otherwise.
But, boom, gone. There were ways to do this without recasting Sumino. But, okay, fine, whatever. It is what it is. But it's just the way they did it made no sense to me. And they never follow up on it. None of the villains are like, hey, who are you? Nothing. She never goes back to take a sword like, why can't you help me? It's just.
And the reason why he's being a lot less passionate now, and you could say this is less passionate, last night he was significantly more passionate. And I'm trying to do counterpoints of like, well, we had this, we had that. And I'm not going to go into all the counterpoints, but his main argument is really based on the fact of
it was poor writing.
And so I had to think about it, and I had to step back for a moment. Like, well, it's not completely the writer's fault, which is why I did that insert in the middle of, well, it's not her fault. It's also the director's fault because the director has the final say. And so he then has to go and pull receipts. And I'm like, well, you're talking about just the main director. He's only directed like 8 episodes of the series. Yes, he has a long resume, but he only directed 8 episodes of the series, so you can't qualify him. He then goes to every other director that has directed episodes for this series, and he's like, fine, you want to blame the director? This director, Director B, has done these many series.
Shoe Ranger, Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger, Car Ranger, and every series from Gal Ranger onward.
And every single director, he's like, okay, it can't be this director because they've clearly demonstrated they know what they're doing. Can't be this director because they've clearly, not to say that they didn't fuck up, but every time I had a counterpoint to try to give Akiko some grace. Even to come out to find out the secondary writers of this show have more credentials than her. And she's the one who wrote this episode and all the other episodes that we've been complaining about. So I'm trying to like give her credit, give her props, not blame the writer, blaming the situation. Because originally I was like, well, it's a situation. They didn't have much time. They had a month. Okay, well, it takes a lot of work to edit and find out people. They had a month. Well, what about this and that and this? Okay, fine. They had 2 weeks to get her into this, to navigate those reshoots. Every counterpoint I could to defend.
I had a counter to your counterpoint.
Yes. It was a losing argument. And the problem is, all of our neighbors probably hate us right now when we're walking because we talk about the most random things and people are like, what the fuck are you people on? Or they just want to yell out the window, nerds! And like...
Well, then we had the one neighbor we saw watching One Piece the other day.
Oh, yeah. Which he wanted to walk on their window and like, I like that character!
Oh, Dr. Vegapunk!
But nonetheless, the way we're talking right now is we've resolved. But we were going back and forth and getting more heated, more angry. And I'm like, we need to stop. We need to stop talking about this. Now, for the episode itself.
All right. So
this is my favorite episode because apparently this week's monster is a haunted house monster. Because you have Hoedru walking down the stairs and everything.
Everything's haunted. The manager and her son are one's dressed up as
A ghost, and the other's dressed up as a wolf.
well, I think she was a Chinese vampire because I think she was doing the Rinchi.
No, she was bent over like.
Oh, that's right.
The Japanese ghost.
Why am I thinking? Who was doing the?
There
Rinchi? Whatever.
Some of the haunted house goers.
Maybe that was it.
So everything is haunted house horror movies, and then where he liked the fashion no one, this no one, especially because it had a puppet. I am in love with this no one.
Well, I loved who was it? Who was it that was standing over a well, and a well puppet or a ghost girl. No, it was a well puppet comes out, and then the ghost girl puppet comes out of the well puppet, and then the monster just like falls over out of the well like. Whoa.
I can't remember what it was, but
was that Hoeru?
I think so, because you find out Hoeru is scared of everything ghosts and horror and hauntings, and you find out Sumino,
which would make sense because we did see an earlier episode where they were in a haunted house.
And she was beyond excited.
Because that was the one where Fire Candle showed up to grab the candelabra when they were doing their thing way back then.
And I like how she pulls out sticks of who to go in when. And Ryuji is like, that is unexpectedly prepared. So we then have them go in as groups. So you have Rikuo and Hoeru. You have Sumino and Ryuji. You have...
And Kumade and Kinjiro.
And so, before I get to Sumino and Ryuji, I want to talk about Kumade and Kinjiro. So, as they're walking through, at the start, you have kids that are like running around trying to scare them. One was looking old. And you had Kinjiro making a comment about how this is ageist and insulting because he's an old man. You then have him fall down, the young version, and stand up as the old version because he forgot to eat his eggs. And the ghosts kids that were in there in the haunted house run away from him as a ghost, and he's like, that's insulting, I'm still alive. So I thought that was hilarious. Then you had Hoeru and Rikuo. They get separated.
Well, no, they're in there, and Hoeru's like freaking out, and Rikuo's like, oh, that's cool looking. That's cool looking. Basically what I do when we're in haunted houses. Yeah. Like, oh, that's a really nice setup. And Hoeru's like, how can you do that? Aren't you just like freaked out from being in here? No, this takes a lot of time and effort. And then something shows up and Hoeru bolts it.
And then you see Bouquet scared because Ribbon runs away.
Yes.
So she's left scared. And so Rikuo kind of rescues her. And Ribbon, you see, is with the haunted house no one. And she's like, is it just a haunted house? That's not scary. So they make it a change where it's going to be
a murder house.
A murder house.
Well, first,
because there are some haunted houses, even in the United States, where they can be a little bit more forward.
Well, we have Rikuo scene with Bouquet. They're talking, and some of the Ais show up. And so Rikuo's like, stand back, and Bouquet's like,
and they don't get it at first, and then they do, and he's like, okay, this is a safe room. He's like, you stay here, I will come back to get you. Well, then, along all of this, we have Sumino and Ryuji, which Ryuji is a functional actor.
Oh, so, continue.
So you have Sumino dressed as a witch, and you have Ryuji dressed as a blue Oni. As they're walking down, she looks at him, so you know this is a reshoot episode. And she's like, why are you dressed as an Oni? He looks at her, perfect response of, well, so tongue-in-cheek, once again, leaning in, whereas this is where I thought the writing was good, of leaning into it. Like, if you're going to make a change, lean into the change.
Okay, so the reason we saw the next scene when he's transforming, he's the Frankenstein monster, that's how he was originally dressed in the episode, but they didn't have time to re-put him in makeup. So they did the Oni joke.
Oh. Because I wondered, because later when they're all standing to fight, and this is where you can see the first terrible green screen element.
Yeah, and they're all standing to transform, and she's looking like...
And the reason why you can tell it looks terrible is when you have, and you can see it with your reviews as well, if you don't have the coloring perfect, and you don't have everything structured where it needs to be, you can see like this highlight around the person anytime they move, seeing that they're not really there.
But, so yeah, that's why he was the Frankenstein monster in that scene.
Okay.
Which, I guess that he somehow found a way to change in the middle of the haunted house. But... Which
I thought was poorly done, because they should have just green screen him in as the Oni.
Well, yes. I mean, if you're going to have to green screen her in, you might as well just keep him as the Oni.
Well, yeah.
But, so, Ribbon decides to turn into a murder house. So obviously, everyone has to fight. Bouquet sees Goju Wolf and starts attacking him. Or not Goju Wolf, Goju
Leon.
Yeah, starts attacking him. They're fighting. And Ribbon shows... Oh, no, backwards. Ribbon is fighting Leon. Leon destroys Ribbon. And...
Well, no, destroys something, because Ribbon goes into a mech, I thought.
Well, yeah, destroys the mech.
Okay.
But ultimately killing Ribbon.
Yes.
So Ribbon does her, but I don't want to go.
And he gets attacked by, I think, Fire Candle or Shining Knife.
It was Fire Candle.
Fire Candle. He gets knocked out of the mech. He's falling to the ground as Ribbon's dying. Bouquet looks back and sees him de-transform.
As Rikio, because she was coming up to shoot him.
Yeah.
This Ribbon had... And she's like, what? It can't be. What?
I'm like, wow, this is just as bad as Car Ranger with how long it took her to figure it out.
But the other thing we had that was kind of weird is Rikyu does a concert in the middle of this whole thing.
As a vampire.
Yep. That was kind of weird.
It kind of fits for him because they're trying to do this haunted house contest.
Well, okay, that was the other thing. I've been meaning to bring this up.
I felt that was a reshoot.
We are 42 episodes in, and I still don't understand the point of the contest.
Oh, no, neither do I.
Like, what is the purpose of the contest?
Well, I do like the fact that when they're trying to do all the contests with the hauntings and things like that, you do have the fact that you have the eyes and Hueru is running towards them saying, I'm not scared of you. And you have Riku saying in his speaker as he's watching things to tell everybody what to do, he's like, at least Hueru's got them. And I was like, yeah.
Well, I did like the scene when they were doing their own haunted house, and now Kumade had Kinjiro dressed up as a dead samurai.
Yes.
So everyone's running and like, ah!
Well, I thought it was perfect. Might as well use the old look.
And then, so our haunted house, no one is destroyed. Bouquet finally learns that Rikuo is
Goju
Leon.
Goju Ryan, Goju Leo, whatever you want to call him.
And I think that's where our episode ends.
Yes.
Next episode has Bouquet Shining Knife saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. I didn't have the heart to tell you."
Everybody knew, but her. And the weird thing is, okay, Rikuo transform has seen Bouquet before, right? Because the way he made it seem,
I don't know if they've ever actually fought before.
So when she was around
outside of the mechs, I don't think he ever fought her outside of the mech.
Okay, because I wondered about that when he made the comment. I was like, has he never seen her before with Fire Candle?
But then we have Ribbon was absolutely pointless.
Oh, absolutely.
She served no purpose whatsoever.
Now
she did nothing. Her side gig of wanting to take over Brydon amounted to nothing whatsoever.
Now, you could say, well, with episodes 38 kind of being in flux somehow, it ruined the story.
Maybe, but...
Now, this is where I have to get into the capability of the writer.
You can't blame everything on, well, they had to do rewrites, they had to do reshoots. You can't blame every single poorly done story piece on reshoots.
And
rewrites.
Even if they had to do rewrites and reshoots, this is where you can tell the capabilities of a writer. This is not to say that every writer, no matter how good they are, is going to do great. Because obviously, Inoue did a terrible job on the second half of Hibiki. It wasn't the worst thing, but he was a credentialed writer. He has done fantastic work.
I think the problem with that was Inoue was hired to do whatever the Toei execs wanted him to do.
Yes.
And he agreed to do that, so he had to cater Hibiki to what the Toei execs demanded.
Yes, but you can still blame him as the head writer, because even if he had to do what the Toei execs told him to do, he could have found a way to still make it creative. So this is not to justify and say, oh, well, she's inexperienced.
No,
even experienced writers.
And this is even different from Go Busters, where Kobayashi had to retone the show halfway through. This is just straight up Ikiko does not have the capabilities to write a show on her own.
Well, that's exactly it.
And I really feel like Toei was like, well, we're ending Super Sentai with Gozyuger, so we're going to hire our like D-list writers to work on this show.
Which I argued with him that stepping back fully, at first I thought, and I still believe in certain parts of me, that she was selected as an up-and-coming writer. Not as a D-list, as you say, but as an up-and-coming writer. And I still think
I just say D-list as means we're not going to give our best, our top writers the job.
Okay. I still think that's the case. However, there is a part of me, more so now than before, and you actually made this comment and I fought you on it, and I have to reevaluate that there is a part of it that she was given this job for one thing and one thing only.
Her name.
And it's disappointing because I'm a believer that should never be the case. I am anti-nepotism. I believe everybody should be evaluated and built up on their own individual merits. Yes, sometimes having a family member can get you a little bit more, like possibly an interview that somebody else may have not had. But I don't think anybody should be given a job solely based on the fact that a family member is part of the team. And the problem is that's never going to change. Unfortunately, nepotism is here to stay. We're all victims of it. We've all experienced it.
But the other problem is, if you're going to be if you have nepotism helping you, own it. Don't be like, no, I didn't get this job because of nepotism. I got it on my own accord. When it was clear you got it for nepotism.
Well, there's certain times where maybe they did get it over
like
their
you're
own
a level 5 guy.
Oh, absolutely.
That guy was totally nepotism.
But, and it's not to say that nepotism is wrong.
Oh.
I hate it. I think it's a slap in the face. But there are some people who do great things with it. That's why I'm saying it's not always inherently wrong. Because I have seen some people who have gotten things solely based on their family name and have done great things with it. And more so in the acting world. Jamie Lee Curtis is a great example. She has done great things where she has exceeded.
And she owns the fact that she was a Nepo baby.
Absolutely. And Angelina Jolie is a Nepo baby. Drew Barrymore is a Nepo baby. Not saying that they're all great, but there's a lot of Nepo babies out there. And so that's where I think it came from. And I had to resign myself to that potentially being the case here. That as much as I wanted to say it wasn't when we initially started watching it, the more and more we're going on with the challenges of writing, I do believe she got it based on her name. And I'm not saying she squandered it, but I will say that the quality of the show is not justifying her hiring. And it's sad. But the reason I say that is because episodes 41 and 42 are shite.
All right, so 41, as we already mentioned, everyone was telling, okay, oh yeah, we knew about it. But then Kuon goes in and plays the little sneaky devil on her shoulder, like, you probably should go get your revenge. And she destroys her whole shrine to him. But she can't bring herself to destroy the plush.
No.
So she storms off. And so this, and Rikuo is all depressed because, well, I've upset a fan of mine. And
he really cares about the people who care about
so he's all depressed. And we get to learn a little bit about the reason Ryuji and him were buddies at the beginning of the show is because at one point Ryuji was fighting an ORED user, and Rikuo came in to help him, and he's like, well, I was originally was shadowing you to take your ring, but I think you got a lot of value.
No, he said because you look depressed.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he wanted to help him, and Ryuji wants nothing to do with him at first, but then he says that
there's Stockholm syndrome.
That he ended up appreciating him, and they became friends. But so we have this episode that is a blue-focused episode, but Ryuji is the one gets the Tega Sword upgrade form in Blue's episode. So Ryuji doesn't even actually get to use his Tega Sword form in his own episode. Once again, showing they don't know what to do with Ryuji. He is just there.
Well, I almost feel like the reason why he stayed is, even though they could have replaced him, they had a really good out where they could have showed, like, Truthfully the Ring going to a new user. They felt they needed to keep him because I thought having to go to a new user for an episode was a waste.
Yeah,
and like, even if he weren't to be a fighter, you could have still kept him in the series as a mentor or something.
But yeah, it's so they don't know what to do with him at all. And the fact that he gets this in this blue focus episode just really sealed that deal for me. But anyway, so we have the No One, who I did like this design as well.
Because it was the creation
No One that is pretty a handy creature.
Oh, I love the hands.
The hands on the face, the hands designs all in the bracelets and the
And this was really bad green screening.
So
because when you start the episode, it starts really abruptly.
They're doing a contest. They have to do a contest for creating things because that's this.
Well, I meant even before that when Kumade, Kinjiro, and Sumino were standing by this no one that was sitting on the step, and you have Sumino poking it with a stick. You could tell that because she was CGI'd. Like, the stick was really there.
But she was green screened over.
So it makes you think that, obviously, the original actress was also poking it with a stick. Because you have Hoeru and... Not Hoeru. Maybe it was Hoeru, Ryuji...
No, Ryuji and Rikyo were with...
In the cafe. It was Hoeru and the young boy.
Kinjiro.
Kinjiro and the young boy.
Kinjiro... Yeah, it was Kinjiro and Hoeru were walking with the kid because they were talking about Christmas.
And Kumade...
And he's like, well, this is for New Year's.
Yes, he was talking about the Christmas party. And you had Kumade and Sumino by the Creation No One that was sitting on a step. Sumino's poking it with a stick because that's just the thing to do.
And Hoeru smelled a no one.
Mm-hmm.
So they ran over... And they're with this no one, and the ice comes up like, oh my god. So they do this contest where they're supposed to do a creation. So the no one creates this wallet, and Hoeru has created a cloth bag out of an old shirt.
Which I have to say was really brilliant.
So he wins round one. Round two is building a sandcastle. Kumade CGIs, essentially, the Taj Mahal out of a sandcastle.
Mm.
You have this CGI, which some people said was actually used by AI to recreate the Taj Mahal.
Oh, it was so bad because it made Sumino's actress flicker on screen. You have CGI with CGI so bad the character is flickering on the screen.
And the background color for her didn't even match the full background of everything else.
But it was so bad that she's flickering.
I mean, this scene rivals that Zenkaiger scene of when Kaito woke up with the cat's eyes and ears.
Yes.
And was like, yeah, when you had these horrible, like, eyes. I'm like, oh my god.
Now, okay, we have made jokes over the years since Zenkaiger, even about shows that have aired well before Zenkaiger.
That the effects are better than Zenkaiger.
And we have finally, like, we even thought the effects were Dawn Brothers, even when you had the clipping issues, were still better than Zenkaiger. But we have finally found our white whale.
Oh my.
I have never thought I was going to see something more modern than Zenkaiger, especially because you have that CGI room now. Well, actually, there was something from today's episode that was really bad too. But, I don't think you wrote it down. I'm going to have to remind you of it. But.
Was it when they were on the toy shelves?
No. It was the birds. I thought of Birdemic with those birds.
I don't even remember that.
I'll explain it to you in a moment. But, so we saw clipping with clipping of CGI that was so bad that not even Zenkaiger in its worst day could have done a worse job. And that is a level of skill to do such a bad job that you have a character flickering on screen because they had to be CGI'd in, where you could not do your CGI of the sandcastle properly, that your ad hoc CGI later could work appropriately. I was like, did a high school student do this? Because this was next level bad.
Oh my god.
And the thing is, I am not like top tier able to see all of these things. Like when he goes on flash frames and shit like that, I'll never catch them unless it's like a really long flash frame. It's like,
But then it wouldn't be a flash frame.
But no, I just mean that I can't always catch these bad production things, like somebody who does production of some sort. So when I see it, it's gotta be horrendously bad.
Oh man, that was really, really bad. But so then it turns out that this no one was actually the original no one, and is the final no one.
And at the same time, the body that's in it. So I say the body because it's dead. Apparently, is a scientist that created Tega
June's creator, because she clearly lost her daughter and was trying to recreate the world to bring her daughter back.
Which is why we have what we have going on.
But yeah, so the no one ends up being captured by Tega June, because now the no one is the pilot for Tega June. Even though it's against her will, kind of. But, and as I said, we had Yellow with his upgrade. We have Bouquet fighting Rikuo. And it kind of just like leaves off there.
Now we get to episode 42.
So, Tega June captured Goody Byrne. Yes. That's where our episode ended. She kidnaps Goody Byrne because she's like, we're going to finally remake the world. So, 42.
42 is a hot mess. And you could tell this was a hot mess before anything, because this episode, like I said, was signed, sealed, and delivered before they had to do any kind of reshoots. So, and the episode that we just watched was signed, sealed, delivered before you had to do any reshoots.
Okay, so the other thing is, yes, Sumino has barely had a presence in these episodes for the most part.
No.
For one thing. There is that to note. But
we don't know if that was based on original story.
Right. And that's fine, whatever. But so this episode, which we just watched, in my mind is already trying to forget what happened.
No, I just remembered the bird direct scene.
Okay, so we have Goody Byrne's been captured by Tega June. Tega June, all of a sudden, an alarm goes off in the Bride on base as Bouquet is like, well, I'm leaving to go take out Rikuo. And an alarm goes off, and Kuon comes and says, somebody's stolen all the rings. Like, that's kind of convenient that you have noticed that somebody has stolen all the rings. I wonder, could you be the ring thief? But nobody else thinks about this. They all just start running around.
And then our rangers.
And our ranger cast, they're just chit-chatting at the cafe when a portal appears. And Rikuo's like, well, I'm going to go try to help Bouquet because that's what the plot tells me I need to do.
I almost feel like it's trying to make this love story happen, which
it is no Jetman.
It's no Car Ranger.
It is no Don Brothers.
So, and as we clearly have stated, there's many better love stories that have happened.
But they go into Noam world. Now, I did like when Kamadi's like, oh, we should go this way. And Poiro's like, hey, I'm the one that's been here. I know how this world is laid out.
Well, yeah. So, now all the scenes with Goody Byrne, they're treating him like a literal baby. Because technically, even though he was birthed a fully adult sentient being, he is still technically an infant.
And I was like, so they're trying to do this story time to tell him why he needs to help Rhydon. And it's not working, so Tega June transports him to a movie theater or a stage theater.
Yes.
And starts showing him puppets. And all I'm thinking as he's sitting in that seat watching is Clockwork Orange. Make it stop, please. Stop. Make it stop.
At the end of that, when you hear the buzzing, you get a clip to the main base, and you see all those birds.
I know why I didn't see that, because I was writing down Clockwork Orange.
Because you see him blinking red, and the way the birds looked, and sadly, because of Rift Tracks, I have seen Birdemic way too fucking many times. But the only way I can willingly watch that movie is because of Riff Tracks, because they do a great job with it. And they look like clip art birds that are just on the screen like Birdemic. I am waiting for something like Birdemic. I was like, that is the pinnacle of CGI greatness, right?
I actually need to take that now, take a screenshot, and post online. Super Sentai Birdemic.
I was like, this is the creme de la creme of bad CGI. I actually was surprised you didn't say anything, but now I understand why.
Yeah, because I was reading Clockwork Orange when that scene happened.
But it was beautiful in its badness, because once again, this episode was filmed, signed, sealed, delivered before Sumino's replacement. And this didn't even have Sumino, so you know this was signed off on as being okay.
All right, so, which for some reason I wrote in my notes Blue versus Ribbon instead of Blue versus Bouquet. But, so, Blue and Bouquet are fighting because he's trying to win her back. And Bouquet talks about how Ribbon was the sweetest girl ever. That she wanted no harm towards people, which we obviously know was fake because she was going to overthrow Brydon. And Sumino just jumps in and says she was not the cutest girl ever. She was a monster. It's like, but they never interacted. How would she know what Ribbon was really like where they never crossed paths with each other outside of one fight?
Now, to be fair, there is probably on the cutting. No, I'm not saying to be fair for. I am saying.
I'm going by what was on screen.
I know. In existence, there was probably something on the cutting room floor where they interacted. However, because that never existed for the audience, how would we have known that Sumino, or how would Sumino have known?
Yeah, Sumino never interacted with Ribbon. She would have no idea what Ribbon was like because she only met Ribbon that one time in a fight. So that just was like, she never met her. What? That makes no sense. And Blue redeems Bouquet and she leaves with Blue. And so everyone, Goody
Burn is rescued.
Goody Burn is rescued.
Well, because Kumade
and Hoyoru went to the toy room.
Yes, but he got freed because of the bear. Now, the only reason I am not caring about that CGI is because I saw the piece de resistance later. If you had seen the piece de resistance, the fight scene on the toys.
Well, no, I actually was going to say that actually reminded me of the Ultraman Omega episode.
Well, yeah.
With the
I've seen
pirate.
Since I saw much, much worse. Like long later.
It was horrible. Like you could tell they were green screened into the toys, but I actually did kind of like that scene.
It wasn't.
It was creative.
And once again, Fire Candle stole the fight.
Yes. Especially when he's trying to read the story to Goody Burn.
Oh my God.
But then Tega June gets summoned by Kuon, who's like, I have found the culprit. What? Who is he? It's me! Dun, dun, dun!
Oh, yeah. Like, nobody could see
and his acting was so...
Especially when they switch places and his head is, superimposed into that window.
His face was like, can you at least try to pretend that you're evil? And he's like to Hoyoru, and Hoyoru runs in. He's like, yes, ha, ha, ha. I am the true evil villain. Ha, ha, ha.
With those really bad...
I have just pulled a Final Fantasy. Ha, ha, ha. Oh my God. Okay, I love when...
Final Fantasy X.
I love when characters have when they get longer hair strands and stuff. Like I like multi-hair strands, but it just looked horrible on.
Well,
Kuan.
that's because they didn't do a good job with the wigs.
It just looked like it was just glued on to his hair.
Well, yeah, it literally was, but
But
okay. So
but I did like then Hoeru he's going to run to Kuan and gets transported right on top of Goody Burns' palm, or take a sword to palm.
And I like how he's even like, how the hell did I get here?
And they're all like, oh. And they leave. And
episode over.
Yeah, but
so this is where anybody who loves the show, I will say respectfully, I can't love the show. But as I had started the episode for us saying,
there are things I liked about.
My favorite guilty pleasure is a boobtastic show, High School of the Dead. I cannot judge you for it. However, all I ask is that you acknowledge the writing. Because these episodes were written and approved and filmed before all the controversy happened. So it's not like they had to redo the entire thing.
The only one that was truly redone, was
episode 39.
39 because of the clip show.
But beyond that, all I can ask for the remaining 7 episodes
we have 7 more episodes of this shit.
Is that one, they figure out how to do their clipping a little bit more legitimately. They also don't forget that characters need to finish out their stories. And somehow forget the new plot point that they put in episode 40 of the fact that she has a new face. Because how is she going to come up to her sister at the end of the series? And be like, Oto, you're awake! And not have her sister look at her.
Well,
as a
I was actually going to say also Bouquet of the Destruction and
Bouquet the Destroyer.
Yeah, Bouquet the Destroyer. But she didn't really destroy anything.
No, her guns just changed.
And all she really did, I felt, was mimicking Escape. And she didn't even do that right. Like, her personality didn't actually change.
No.
She was just angry. There was no actual change of character to signify she's Bouquet the Destroyer.
Now, this is where I don't blame the acting, I blame the writing. Because the actor can only do so much with
And
writing.
Bouquet's actress does seem like she's trying.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I can't blame the acting. So, because once again, as I said,
but Ribbon was such a pointless character. You could have just did this. You could have just turned Bouquet into this form the moment she found out Rikyo was Goju Leon. They did not need Bouquet. Did not need Ribbon to be there to do this.
Well, and once again, you have a brand new actress, and you can say, well, she hasn't been there for the entire series, so she comes in a little bit stronger. She, even with episodes 41 and 42, in the times that she is there, except for the one suspect line from 42 where she's talking about Ribbon. But that's ADR, so sometimes it's hard with ADR. She's still acting circles around everybody else, showing the flaws. Kumade's actor has not gotten stronger. Hoeru's actor has improved from the start to the finish. I will say that. I give him credit because he is trying.
Kumade's writing is also...
and this is the thing that I was going to say.
We had a really...
Good actors.
Go on.
I was going to say, good actors cannot always act good if the writing is bad. But great actors know how to still act and fulfill bad writing.
Like, well, the problem with Kumade,
Like Ryuji and Ryuji and Kinjiro. Both of those actors and Fire Candle, the writing is bad. They still put their everything into making them good.
What I was going to say is Kumade had that really strong episode for his character when they were doing the business thing. But then his whole character since has felt like a regression.
Well, that's because they feel like they got to the top and they don't know anything else to do with them anymore.
And now I did like the scene of Shining Knife with Kinjiro.
Mm-hmm.
When he's like, yeah, which I wish they'd actually done more with Kinjiro.
Absolutely. Once again.
My wife died, Shining Knife. Yeah, my wife died before she was resurrected. I wish they had done more, played more on that aspect. But I did like how Shining Knife is like, yeah, I thank you for your service when I was blah, blah, blah. But this is a different scenario now. So now we're back at being enemies.
But, there were so many missed opportunities that you could have had great character development.
It's just, so we're going to finish our Kuon arc for the Christmas episode, which makes sense that they do the Christmas, because Christmas episodes often, in fact, as Akiba Ranger mentioned, is when they do some big destructive battle at Christmas time.
Well, it's to prep you for the final countdown.
For our final 6 episodes, it's going to have to all be about the Calamity.
Which, I don't know how that's going to work if they got rid of the fucking Calamity.
Well, not the Calamity. The Calamity, it was just his servant that died.
Oh.
But the next 6 episodes, after 43, have got to be all on the Calamity, which means Tegajune's got to be gone with Kuon. Fire Candle's going to be, and Shining Knight's going to have to rejoin the Calamity. Fire Candle's going to have to join the good guys.
Well, it's the only thing that would make sense, because Bouquet is going to be with the good guys.
So the Calamity's got to be your main villain for the remaining 6 episodes.
I don't know how it's going to work, because I feel like, God, I'm using way too many innuendos, but I feel like they shot their load too early.
Or they should have introduced the Calamity earlier in the show to build it up more, because the Calamity has not been mentioned since Shining Knight was restored to normal.
Well, that's why I feel like they shot their load on so many different trigger points for the story, for the series, that it makes no sense anymore. Like, I've lost the plot.
There's a plot?
I thought there was, but okay, where I say that Zenkaiger is my Seinfeld because it's a show about nothing, because they didn't have a progressive story. It was very episodic. Well, this series is episodic. They try to throw in elements of a progressive story that seems to go nowhere. And that's my frustration. You either lean into one of 2 directions, or one of 3 directions. You either go very story-driven with some episodic filler to help with character growth and levity, like to give people breathing room. You go full episodic, where even Don Brothers did that, where you were very episodic.
Well, but Don Brothers also developed a story in every episode.
Yes.
Because some character was getting development
very true.
in every episode.
But you can be episodic. You can be 100% episodic and still succeed at making the story worthwhile. Or you can do a bridging of it where, like Don Brothers, you are episodic, but you have a story that's playing through, where it's not story driven, but there is a story there that keeps you engaged. Because Don Brothers and Zenkaiger, you could watch any random episode in the series and still be good. No, I will.
Not for Don Brothers.
I do believe you can.
No, because if you go to the episode with Inu Brother and Sonoi, when they're being hunted down
Oh, okay, fine.
by
Okay, there's a lot
Marusame. You can't just watch that without having
there's a lot of episodes that you could. Whereas with King Gozyuger and Boonboonger, if you were to just watch a random episode, you could be very lost. More so King Gozyuger than Boonboonger, because you literally have 2 separate series in one series.
Mm-hmm.
And Boonboonger, you have so many different mini arcs that if you were to come in the middle of a random mini arc, you would have no idea what's going on or where you're at in the actual series. So that's where you have 3 different storytelling types. You can go episodic and be fine. You can do a blending of the 2, or you can do story driven. You cannot say, I'm going to blend episodic and story driven together if you don't stick to it. That's where your failure is. You can't say we're going to be story driven and then do a lot of episodic and forget the story. You can't do a lot of episodic. Like, what is the one Ultraman that did that?
Which one?
That was very episodic, and then the last 4 episodes were story. It's a recent one.
Not all of them?
No, Arc did that.
No,
not Arc.
Was it Trigger or Decker?
No, Taiga was very episodic.
Yes.
They tried to do story elements, but they failed. And then when they had those mini story elements that just kind of disappeared for about 3 or 4 episodes, and when they tried to tie them all up,
yes, because they revealed the girl was actually an alien robot, or not a robot, but yeah, that's right.
And when they tried to tie it all in together at the end, they didn't give themselves enough runway to do it.
Yes.
Because Ryu Soldier is a bad example of this as well. They tried to be story driven, but they put a lot of episodic things in the middle that once they got to where they needed to go with the story, they did not give themselves enough runway to actually close out the story to make it work. And that is the thing that Gozyuger is doing right now. They're not giving themselves the runway.
Oh my God. Now I want to see. Now I want to go into AI, have it make a video, an airplane, a Natasha plane with Gozyuger stickers. And it's on a runway, and suddenly the runway runs out, and it just crashes and blows up.
Well, that's what it's doing. It's really frustrating because Boonboonger, they were at risk for a little bit. They had done a lot of big story. They had done a lot.
The second arc was very formulaic and episodic.
And when they got to World, the final, I was like, how are they going to tie this up to make it work? I didn't think they had the runway to make it work for their final arc. But they found a way.
Those last, 8 episodes, was it?
Yes.
8, 9 episodes?
They had tied everything up into a nice little bow, and they also gave reasoning why Chishiro's character development was non-existent. That it was actually purposefully done.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, you're telling me you gave a legitimate, purposeful reason why we did not build this character up in the entire series, and you made it smart. It's like, and that is the thing where you can tell writing is working in sync, that you have the main writer and the secondary writers working together, that even if the main writer only writes 5 episodes, they're all working in tandem to know what they're doing. And that is the strength of a main writer. And if you want to have an American main writer example of doing this, Vince Gilligan. Because he didn't write every single episode of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but he worked enough with the other writers that they all worked.
They all basically did the episodes together.
And if you want to see a flaw of this in not an American show, in a British show, the recent Doctor Who seasons, where you did not have the main writer working with the secondary writers have a collective
where he
story.
just told them, we don't know who the companion is going to be yet, so just write a generic companion in your episodes, and we will just fill in some gaps.
So that's where so it's not saying that it is completely Akiko's fault, because if you want to think about it for RJD, for Doctor Who. RTD. He's been doing this for years.
Because RJD would be Robert Jr. Downey.
I know, shut up. But this writer has been doing it for a long time, and he failed. So it's not saying that Kiko being new is her fault. It is the strength of the team. But
I think we have a lot of comments.
All right, let me...
But yeah, so these episodes have been a mess, and not really solely just for the Sumino reasons.
Okay, yes. All righty.
So where do we leave
everyone, hopefully you liked what we said. Oh, I'm still going. Cyclonus, thank you. Because I was trying to think of the transformer. Oh, I found it. Okay, I am right here.
What happened to King Oger?
I got it. They had kids and artists make their own Red Rangers to have one winner.
Okay, I do remember that. So I guess
Origa Red won the contest.
I'm assuming that's an origami red?
Yes.
Okay.
Mobile C. I know that's probably not how it is, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Don't forget, Zenkaiger aired during the lockdown phase of the pandemic. Right? They had kind of an excuse to be shit if they really wanted to. Oh, Corellica, you mean Cyclonus? Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
Well, they said I love her. It's not that bad, Jake Schuster said. I will agree to disagree, but I am not going to fault you on it. But hello, and thank you for joining. People also noted that Kohaku and Maya had been in something together which could have helped her replacing Maya. I absolutely, because she had some of her mannerisms, which is entirely possible because Kohaku seemed to know how she was going to play up the character. I do like that they brought back the dancing in the opening. I agree. And they finally incorporated Goju Puller in more scenes of it with the new Sumino. I did notice that they...
Yeah, I did. The scenes that people showed online originally, I was like, why would you shoot a new opening, some new opening bits, and not even include Goju Puller in there? And one was like, well, what do you mean? They did. I was like, oh, well, the other stuff that people showed before, they didn't have that.
Yeah. Kubernetes, best line. Again, I'm loving these top lines from these comments that I'm going to have to steal for future. Cho would be like, Kohaku-chan, you have 1 minute to pull out your A game and buy over naysayers. Go. It's legitimately true. It doesn't need to address the change of appearance at all. Fair Udis.
I disagree.
Hi, Udis, but
the villains at least need to point out, like, who are you? We don't know who you are.
The A game's a confusing explanation to a face change at that. Mobile C, only Gal Ranger and Bokenger were the only 2 anniversary theme series that weren't cursed. Well, I hated Gal Ranger, so it's cursed to me. But
actually not entirely true. Apparently Gal Black had been harassing Gal White's actress.
Really?
During the filming of the show.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Dude. What about Boken?
I don't think there was anything on that.
Okay. About the Sumo...
I mean, unless you want to say that, well, they did create Aka Red, who was voiced by Toru Furuya in that series for the crossover movie, but no. Not
and
really.
Nick Lenn says hello. Hi.
He's the one we met at Ranger Stuff.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Nick.
Yuda says, Tiger Joe and Liamaru changed actors, and the actor change wasn't addressed at all. For all intents and purposes, it was the old and the same one. Well, not all series change, like, addressing, even American shows. We've had a few American shows where they just go with it, and that's fine. I have no problem if you're just going to go with it, because I've seen that happen. I just feel like if you're going to say something has changed and not have a little bit more to go with it, it loses its impact. But I would have been fine if they said nothing. He would have complained till the cows came home. But they also decided to change
But the
Sumino's...
cows won't come home because they're in my stomach.
VA Games also said they also decided to change Sumino's personality quite a bit as seen in the episode. I even think I saw a blog mention the personality change. Even online users were noticing it as well. I didn't notice I did notice a personality change, but I didn't notice like a strong change. It was subtle.
I don't think she's been on screen enough to really judge that part yet.
Maya-chan is pouty cute. Kohaku-chan is goofy cute. New Sumino won't work if personality doesn't change. No, and that's true. Kohaku does do a little bit more goofiness. And holy shit, the Bills are getting their asses kicked. Sorry. 24-7.
Yeah, it's not surprising it's the Bills.
Hey. But sadly, people are going to blame Lil Miss Inouye for stuff. If she's the showrunner, like the writer of the show, sadly, everything is going to be her fault, even if it's not her fault. That is the nature of being responsible for a show as a head writer. So even if it's not her fault,
like Doctor Who. The recent seasons of Doctor Who are RTD's fault. Just like how the problems the last seasons were Chibnall's fault.
It's unfortunately when you take responsibility for a show, all of the successes are your successes. All of the failures are your failures. Unfortunately, it is the one thing about being in a leadership position. That's why I'm not being mean to her, but at the same time, she runs the show. Even if she only wrote 2 episodes as the head writer, all her fault. And it's terrible to say, but that's what happens when you take on the leadership responsibility. You are the captain of the ship, and you will sink or you will sail.
Like they're blaming, just like there's blaming Jared Leto for Tron Ares failing.
That's not his fault.
When it's like, well, first of all, Tron is not actually, because they've decided they're not going to do any more. Disney has said we're canceling all Tron projects.
But it's not Leto's fault. He's not the director or the.
For one thing, Tron was never a franchise that was never a franchise for Disney.
No.
They just keep trying to bring Tron back, thinking, well, maybe people will accept it now. Okay, didn't work. How about now? Tron Legacy was a failure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved Tron Legacy. But Tron is not the franchise Disney wants it to be or pretends it is every time they release a new movie. If they did, first of all, there wouldn't have been a 25-year gap between Tron and Tron Legacy. There wouldn't have been like a 15-year gap between Tron Legacy and Tron Ares.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
28-year gap for Tron and Tron Legacy.
Well, yeah. Because the problem at the end of the day...
The toy line would not have failed already for Hasbro.
The only way you can blame an actor for the success or failure of a movie is if that actor is all you've heard. Like, for an example, it ends with Us. There's the Justin Baldoni and the Blake Lively shit. The failure of the movie, no matter what you think, goes on to Justin Baldoni's shoulders as the director, producer, and screenwriter. It doesn't matter if Blake Lively did a terrible job marketing the movie. It doesn't matter if Blake Lively is suing him about shit due to the movie. He is still the producer, director, and screenwriter. So at the end of the day,
it was a shit movie because he wrote a shit movie.
He owns the film. It doesn't matter. Now, if Blake Lively was the only person promoting the film, and you didn't know about Justin Baldoni, you didn't know about the other actors and actresses and shit like that, then yes, you can blame Blake Lively because that's the only reference point you have. It's the same thing with fucking Fan 4 Stick. The movie sucked because the director sucked. He did a terrible job with what he had. The screenwriting sucked. So it ends with them, and it ends with Inoue. She may have done great work on all of her episodes, and everybody else's episode sucks. However, she's responsible for them.
Which is not the case, though, because she wrote the majority of the episodes.
Now, has the theme song grown on you?
No.
I still love the theme song. I
don't care about the theme song. It exists, and that is that.
And Haunted House episode is silly. I agree with you, Kubernetes. Nick says there is an actor from Garo, Koga's actor, which I thought. The second Pink Ranger in France 5 also changed her personality. Now, you are right. I don't know what France 5 is. There are characters, when you do change, they change their personality. I'm trying to think, there is a show where they had to recast a main actor in an actual regular show that I've seen.
Well, okay, on that note, though, also, it depends on how it's done. Like, okay, Iron Man with...
Oh, yeah, that's a good example.
Well, we only had one movie with...
Oh, God, I know his fucking name.
Terrence? Was his first name Terrence? When he was replaced with Don Cheadle. That wasn't jarring because... he only did one movie, and Don Cheadle has done them all since.
And truthfully, Don Cheadle did have a personality change.
But Don Cheadle also,
Was it Terrence Howard?
Might have been. They made the comment, "Yeah, Tony, it's me whether you like it or not."
Now the thing is,
Edward Norton, again, he was only in one Hulk movie when he was replaced with Mark Ruffalo. So it worked because we didn't go through 5-10 movies with this actor being this character, and then suddenly they change.
And there's many times you're going to have changes. Like we talked about Zengaiger earlier with Gege. Gege's voice actor changed. It changed the element of who the character was because his personality was very different then. Personality changes can happen with new characters. The reason why this is jarring, even if they didn't have to go into saying that they changed or anything like that, like, in truth, it probably would have been better if they said nothing. But at the end of the day, because of all the drama, because of all that was being said about Imamori, that is why people are fixated on it.
And
because there have been many shows, that actors and actresses have been fired and they've been recast, and there's no conversation pieces about it. But the moment you add drama into it, everything changes.
The other thing is we've had Imamori as Sumino for essentially 40 episodes.
Well, even prior to that, with all of the marketing.
40 episodes, 9 months, 10, 11 months of the year, or no, technically 10 months. All of a sudden, we have a change of new actor take the role over. You needed to address that in some manner.
Well,
did you just lose the comment?
Yeah, but I figured I found it again. All right, so that's the only reason why we're even referencing it, because of the fact that, unfortunately, if it didn't happen with so much, people wouldn't have given a shit. I guess I'm using too many weird examples. That is certainly fine. The most confusing part of the episode was when Ryuji was once seen as a demon, and next time he's dressed as Frankenstein.
Which we talked about when we were covering that.
I like how episode 39 plays with the fact that Kinjiro is actually an old man. Oh, for 40, yes. Let's see. It's a funny callback to Dawn Brothers with the reference to the Oni. Too bad the haunted house in episode 40 wasn't more like McCamey Manor or McCamey Manor.
Did you skip? We skipped a lot of episodes, didn't we?
No,
or a lot of comments.
No, I've gone through them.
Are you sure? Because I don't remember this one about Tiger Joe and Lion and Mario changed actors.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, I must have. My brain must be going like, okay, whatever.
What happened to Maya was so unfair, especially when there were other Japanese popular figures who have done way worse.
Okay, this is something I mentioned in my Akiba Ranger review as well. Yellow's actress. She was 17 at the time they filmed Akiba Ranger season 1.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing a 23-year-old. But she still had an episode where she had to get drunk and play all this stuff as I'm really getting drunk and everything. But she was 17. So yeah, I know she was pretending to be an adult, but you still had a 17-year-old pretending to get drunk on screen as an older character, but then we're going to demonize when a person that is nearly the drinking age may have taken a sip or something.
Well,
I just don't get it.
This is where I'm going to. I've talked about my business things. So Thomas Proctor, hello Thomas, makes a really good point. All the reshoots likely had Ribbon, the real Ribbon character, bonding with someone noted like Bouquet and possibly Sumino with the whole younger sister aspect, and would have had moments talking about younger sisters. And I could see that happening where they had more time with that. Didn't know why Ribbon's a thing either. I wonder if she was a victim of Maya-chan rewrites.
She's not. They actually said that all the stuff we saw with Ribbon was always what was originally intended.
Oh. Not to mention Bride.
Now, that doesn't mean the cut episode might not have had a Sumino Ribbon sequence, but they said Ribbon was always intended to die in episode 40.
Okay.
So she was only intended to be around
for a short
period. For 4 episodes. 4 or 5 episodes.
Not to mention, Brydon had no benefits to humanity, so I feel like Brydon would all be destroyed in the end of the show. Yuta says this thing of characters related somehow and never finding out until end looks like a Toshiki Inoue thing that he does. Well, yeah, Inoue does do those really weird love triangle things where you don't know they're the villain.
That's because Inoue, I think Inoue plans out his ending just as much as his beginning. He knows where everything's going to lead to, so he already has a set path for everything.
Well, didn't his father do the same thing?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But his father was also writing at a time when the first Kamen Rider came out, there was no standard for how a show was going to play out.
ZZ Dark does agree with him of saying, yep, look, hook, line, and sinker. Of having characters related somehow and never finding out. Episode 41, still trying to make the green screen Haruka work when far away during the sandcastle scenes. Also, people are mentioning AI is used during the scene as well as the villain sandcastle.
That's what I've heard. Something as simple as a sandcastle, I don't care if AI was used on that. I care more if they're using AI to impersonate an actor, or they're using AI for a fight sequence instead of actually filming a fight sequence, they're just having AI manipulate the fight sequence. Now,
I do like this comment from Kamen Rider 64. I mean, look at the guy who made Kenshin. He didn't have anything happen to him for years, and I think he
did serve prison time, but he still gets all the royalties for Kenshin.
I know this stream is strictly Gozyuger, but what do you feel about Fujioka's daughter, now a Kamen Rider, for the upcoming girl specials?
I haven't even paid attention to the girl special. So, the actor who played
no, Fujioka. Okay, no one.
Now I can't remember who the.
To me, I think it would have been much cooler if Bandai Toei didn't oversaturate Kamen Riders. I think that's very Kubernetes. Considering Japan is a Confucianist society, I doubt it's nepotism. Not saying it's not. I say it's family coercion. I like that. Okay. I am stealing that line now. It's not nepotism. It's family coercion. That's like a really PC way of saying nepotism. I love it.
Well, it's just like...
But no, it's true. It may not be nepotism, but there's those elements like if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's not necessarily a goose.
It's a goose.
Heavy quotes on the coercion. Yes. Did you guys watch 42 of Gozyuger? If you didn't, from Arcana Master, hello.
Yeah, we actually talked about that.
Title be gaslighting me. I can see how the title could be somewhat gaslighting. I just did, and it's not the worst. I wonder if Creation No One's human host is Inoue's daughter. Hoeru, Kinjiro, and Kamadi. Thank you, Arcana Master. They really just add a monster of the week into the episode for no reason. I think the Taj Mahal was the No One's castle for some reason. Yeah, I don't know which one it was, but both were bad looking. For what it looks like, the second sandcastle might be made with AI. The last sandcastle looked weirdly smooth. The CGI insert of Sumo was so bad. If Hibiki wasn't made into a writer show, would it still went through the whole production issues? If not, then how would the show would have? So if it wasn't a writer show, I don't think you would have went through the mid-series production issue. Because I don't think they would have worried as much. Because if you think about Garo. It's a completely outside of the regular Toku series, and it doesn't get the same flack because it's not selling to toys and it's selling to a totally different audience. I think if it was made strictly more adult-oriented, as it was trying to go with in the first half, and it wasn't a common writer, it would have been fine. I hated, don't give Zenkaiger too much credit with that episode where the Earth was iced. Oh, I'm not, Arcana. I'm not.
No, God.
But when you have a character flickering on screen,
yeah,
and you have bird inserts that look like Birdemic, I can forgive the ice being. I can forgive the ice being really bad in Zenkaiger because flickering a character on screen is just really bad. The audio cut thing happens a lot in Gozyuger. Yes. Is child kidnapping okay if the kidnapper is the mom? No. It's still illegal, even if your mom is the one who kidnaps you.
For which one?
When Tegajun kidnaps Goody Burn.
Oh.
The origin of Brydon doesn't make sense. Also, Goody Burn being kidnapped, yeah, I like it better when the Mega Voyager was nabbed by the Psycho Rangers, to be honest. Psycho Rangers.
Neji Rangers.
Oh.
Mega Rangers.
I know that. I was trying to think of the American. The creator of Tegra June is dead because the show doesn't want to develop her, I guess. And hello, Jana Kangara. I know I butchered that name. I still think Brydon's origin doesn't make sense. Something's missing. Makes me feel like it was meant to be a joke, but they forgot the punchline. Oh, I have no doubt. What is the one thing from Hibiki that carried over to Kabuto? Did anything carry over from Hibiki to Kabuto? Because Hibiki was also one of the first series where you had a much older main writer. Which wasn't done before. I would say, if anything, it was probably the faction elements that you had in Hibiki with the different type of instruments and the faction elements that you had in Kabuto. But that's a reach, in my opinion. They really should have gotten Arakawa Inoue or Riku Sanjo to write Gozyuger, because no offense to Akiko, she was just not the right pick
They should have
For the
gotten. They should, if they were celebrating the 50th anniversary, they should have got people who had written for Sentai over the years that knew the franchise in and out.
And Thomas Proctor says, yeah, the whole creator thing should have been given more stoplight attention.
Instead of in a way, it should have been in and out.
Arcana says, yeah, this is what happens when you only have a villain for 4 episodes and they're killed off. They get poorly utilized. Well, technically, in episode 37 per EA Games, the edited episode, didn't Sumino in suit meet Ribbon as the team was fighting in the episode? And then that episode 39 with Rio Tega Unicorn versus Ribbon fight?
Well, like I said, I don't count that. They were in one fight. They never actually met personality-wise. So how could she know what Ribbon was really like if she never met her outside of one battle?
Who are the best when it comes to tokusatsu? Toei, Tsuburaya, or Toku?
Toei.
To me, Toku needs to be fun. Gozyuger is fun, and this fun sustains it. So at best, it has entertainment value. And that's fine. Like, in all honesty, why do you think I like Zenkaiger? I like it for its fun. And I don't need much more than that. If I can have fun with it, I'll have fun with it. And at the end of episode 42, it looks like here's Kuon. When he's in the door, just like in The Shining, when it opens up for him, here's Kuon.
Actually, let me write that down.
He's gonna steal so many things. But even with that knowledge, the scene that was meant to be never happened, but replaced with the clip show with Domon Kashu.
What's that?
Oh, for the ribbon fights. Yeah, it was never meant to happen. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the final episode of Gozyuger. What is the rating you feel like giving the series right now per Anthony Sarkis?
If I graded Gozyuger right now, it'd be a 2.
Yudis says, well, bad writing at least is an old feature in tokusatsu. Who could forget that in Kiva, the organization is afraid of Kiva for what he did in 86, but then in 86, we saw he didn't do shit. Kiva, okay, Inoue owns that show, and there are a lot of missed opportunities and confusing fucking plot points between the 86 and the 2008, was it?
Yes.
Timelines. Because what the fuck were some of those monsters doing for 28 years?
That's because Wataru went back in time and screwed up history.
I know, but think about how...
I love Kiva, but there are a lot of flaws with that show. For when they get to the time travel, that's when the show gets really messy.
You mean like when they jump the shark, practically?
But it's still, but I still love that series.
Kumade is literally just Mr. Exposition dump. Yes.
Yes.
Also, how Dark Kiva can be the original 1986 Kiva and not be called the original Kiva?
Because he was Dark Kiva. He wasn't Kiva.
I say Goody Byrne got the shaft of the stick. He barely had screen time. I forgot about him. Even the show acknowledged his lack of presence. I agree.
Well, yeah, he's barely been in anything for the last until.
And when he does appear, sometimes he's like a whiny bitch.
Like when he shows up at the end of the Jacket episode, and he's like, "You forgot about me on your couch." Oh no, it's because I have you on the inside because you're always close to my heart. Like,
I still feel like a lot of plot lines aren't even properly closed. The last episode's gonna be rushed as all hell. Yes, Kubernetes. Eunice.
Well, because we've already Ray's ending was like, that's it. That's how the Ray arc ends. And he barely did it. We had all that buildup of who's this man with gray eyes? Who's this man with gray eyes? And then, oh, that's him? Okay, and Done.
So Yudis has another funny thing is that the thing in Kiva is that Saga is unaware that Wataru was Kiva. All the while, Wataru was driving Kiva's bike around. They even drove together. Yes. And there, like when we rewatched Kiva not too long ago, because the first time I watched Kiva, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. The second time I watched Kiva, I was like, wow.
Well,
I have seen a lot of flaws here.
Yeah, but it's still in the
And
long run.
Yudis, you did not get too excited. These are what I'm talking about. Tokusatsu, as others have said, is very suspicious at times. ZZ the Dark, we ended King Oger and Boom Boonger for this. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I have a feeling Toku is going to play hot potato with the remaining episodes until they get something for the finale to make up to the fans and wash the horrible bad taste from their mouth. That's when they bring in a Kiva Ranger.
Bring in a Kiva Ranger in the finale.
Yeah, joke's on them since we ain't buying that. Yes, ZZ the Dark. Krelika makes great explanation on story writing. They have to know what to write before it just becomes jumbled. There's a reason why English teachers in school teachers teaches us composition. You can't just write something.
That's why you have a graphic organizer, because you need to organize your ideas before you can start writing it.
I have yet to watch Boom Boonger, repulsed by their wheelie heads. Truthfully, those wheelie heads are ugly.
Those are the worst part of the show. Everything else is great, actually.
About Boom Boonger, Kupernete says, watch it. It's kind of like spiritual sequel to Time Ranger Time Force. I'm serious on that. They have some beats that are similar to that, just without time travel. That's actually having just watched Time Ranger and him rewatching it, I can say I can see that. I actually legit can. Because you had the whole mafiosa thing with the villains. Are you trying to say, oh, I tried to tell you that in the first place, shit? Mm-hmm. Oh, never mind. The way you were looking off.
No, I was actually just trying to think of how many times I've watched Time Ranger.
And then Kupernete says, about Boom Boonger, Yudis says this. I still think Toei lost an amazing opportunity to make the Sixth Ranger based on Subaru wheel, like having a huge hole in the head. As someone who watched Boom Boonger weekly, Arcana Master says, I did not get the Time Ranger vibes at all. No, I'm getting it from looking at it after the fact, but no, I get
Mafiosa.
Arcana Master, especially when Gemba went back to HQ like West did after Alex kicked him out of the team for a bit. I'm assuming Time Force.
Yeah, that was Time Force.
Kaiju should have Krelika check out Go Ranger at some point. By the way, Go Ranger is still my favorite Sentai.
She's doesn't really do the Showa stuff.
I am such a terrible Showa fan. Like, even if you make me watch the Godzilla Showa films, I just heckle the shit out of them. If you make me watch the Showa Kamen Riders, I will take a nap. That's why I'm scared to watch the Showa Super Sentai.
I am going to show you Flashman at some point. Plus, I would like to actually watch Flashman fully subtitled throughout the entire show. Because I've only watched it when I only had some episodes
I know.
subbed.
You reviewed the show pretty raw.
In more ways than one. But I love that show. And it's not hard to follow raw. So, I mean, most of what I watched made perfect sense.
So, Aka Eagle, hello. I miss Maya. I do as well, because at the end of it all, I kind of still feel, out of fairness, if you had everything cut and ready to go out, kind of just cut your losses and let the show continue as is.
Let's see. Arcana Master was responding to ZZ the Dark about Time Force, Cabinete. I like Legacy. Might be because I like Daft Punk. Well, that's
the only reason he likes the music video.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that Daft Punk was the reason Legacy was awesome.
Because you just call it a long music video with some dialogue.
Yeah, it is. It's a Daft Punk music video. or a Daft Punk music movie. Let's see. Commodore 64, doesn't 5 give off a Tron 5? I mean, the design, yeah, sure. Let's just go. To be correct, Gal Black didn't harass Gal White's actress during a Gal Ranger reunion a couple years back. They had a suit actor that was Gal White in place of the OG actress since she was busy. Oh, is that where the rumor started?
Ah.
Gal Black's actor slapped the suit actress on the butt.
Dude, okay.
Then Gal Red hit him on the head and told them they can't do that.
Well, no. I'm sorry. That's inappropriate. That technically could constitute a sexual assault.
My favorite episode of Jew Ranger is the one with the pig with the Spartan helmet, which is Dora Circe, which is supposed to be a play on the goddess Circe, who ended up turning herself into a pig.
Really? I don't remember that. You're correct, but I forgot about that.
Fujioka Hiroshi is the actor who played Hongo Takeshi. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. He's the original.
Oh, well, it's kind of the thing of like it could quack like a duck, look like a duck. It could be family coercion, because that's my favorite line for nepotism ever.
Rest in peace, Peter Green.
Yep.
Who's Peter Green?
I'll go over it later.
Because a lot of people have died over the last 2 weeks. Because we had the voice actor who was Professor X and X and Evolution died. We had the actor who was Jimmy Neutron died. We had Shang Tsung's actor die. We had another actor who actually I thought was Shang Tsung's actor die the week before Shang Tsung's actor died, because I saw the actor die. I was like, oh shit, Shang Tsung's actor's died? Oh no, that's not Shang Tsung. And then a few days later, Shang Tsung's actor died. I'm like, wait, so Shang Tsung's actor actually died? What? And then we had the French voice actress for Marge died. She was for the Quebec dub. What carried over from Hibiki to Kabuto was the concept of the main writer not being the main focus. Oh,
yes,
yeah, because Hibiki focused on
the kid.
Yeah. Now I can't think of
who
his name.
became a writer closer to the end.
Sort of.
Yes.
But he was supposed to become Hibiki's successor, but anyway, screwed that all up.
Well, yes.
What rating would Cruelica give Gozyuger at the moment?
I would give it a 3. I'd probably give it middle of the road because, like you said, Eudice, it has a lot of stupid fun. And there are a lot of episodes like the murder mystery is still, I would say Over the Haunted House is probably still my favorite because I love murder mysteries. But there's a lot of fun to be had. I just think it's mired by a lot of weak writing. Even if you go episodic, it's weak. But that's where I'll blame some of the actors for it as well, because they weren't strong enough to give it their all.
Arcana Master said for them, the only good episodes have been the one where the Red Ranger's character had great references to the shows of the past.
Yeah.
Tensho Amane is her stage name, apparently.
Oh.
For Fujioka's.
Okay, I've not heard her name before.
If I were to give Gozyuger a rating, a big, fat ass 0. Also, you opened my eyes about being head writer and all that. Guess it's all on Akiko. Sorry, girl, that's that.
It is. It sucks. It really does suck because you don't want to blame somebody. Like, if I could, I would blame Toei. But Toei essentially hired somebody to run it.
Master Betty says, only show bus season
Hi,
I watched was Live Man. Oh, Peter Green was the bad guy in The Mask.
Oh! I knew other movies.
He was also in, shit.
There's a movie called Aw Shit?
No,
Probably.
no. Oh man, I know him from somewhere else. Not Tales from the Crypt. He wasn't in Tales from the Crypt, surprisingly. But
Okay, don't give yourself a concussion.
Was it The Twilight Zone? No, maybe it was The Twilight Zone. Where are we? Die Ranger is my third favorite Sentai after Gold Ranger and Flashman. You got good taste.
Who said that?
I said you have good taste.
Well, who said?
Anthony Serkis.
Well, my favorite show is still her.
Relica, do you know about Image Comics?
Oh, okay. I am a huge fangirl of Image Comics.
Pulp Fiction, he was Zed. Who's dead?
No, I'm a huge fan of Image Comics. I had all of the X-Force. I read all of the Wildcats. So many series. I actually know more about Image Comics than he does.
Do you guys have favorite characters from Marvel, DC, and Image? Yes. Favorite DC, Flash. Favorite Marvel, Spider-Man, of course, followed by X-Men. Not done yet. And my favorite Image Comics would be Spawn.
So for DC, my favorite. It's funny because it didn't start as an actual comic book character. Actually, no. I'll go with legit comic book character. My favorite character has always been the Riddler for DC, mainly because I've always loved how he could go toe-to-toe with Batman in being that idiot savant in a way. For Marvel, it's always been Rogue, because there's something about a character who is extremely extroverted but can't actually physically engage with other people without hurting them. I really could look up to that character because she kind of spoke to me as a character. For Image, her name is Typhoid Mary. She's one of the villains from X-Force.
But not related to the Daredevil,
No.
Typhoid Mary.
No.
Okay. Let's see. ZZ the Dog. Time for me to get some Z's. Nice seeing you guys. Can't wait for your reaction to Ultraman Omega's episodes. They're going to be fun. Which I found out they are breaking up the 3-part arc with the Christmas and the New Year's break. So I don't think we should bother watching Omega until all 5 episodes, until it's over.
Damn you, Super Raya!
Apparently that was the network's decision.
No, and if anybody wants, I did post on the channel that I was going to do a new series called Tokuaannetwork. So I can actually talk about head writers and.
Well, yeah, you've had a lot of responses because one person's like, "Ooh, I'd like to know the economics between the Time Protection Agency and City Guardians." I was like, no, this is for like outside of the shows.
Oh, I could figure out inside with you. I can bullshit my way through that.
Let's see. Also, Kubernetes says Akiko got coerced to be a writer for Toei, and now we're putting her head on the block.
Oh, yeah. No, she is turning into, Sean Bean from first season of Game of Thrones. Because Sean Bean was supposed to be the character of Game of Thrones for all the people who never read the fucking books.
I think Inoue, I disagree. Like, I can get the Ryuki, not liking his stuff in Ryuki, even though that was Kobayashi that did the show. But Agito, I thought Agito was perfection.
What?
For Inoue.
Did he do all of Agito?
He did all but one episode.
I thought it was. Wait.
Arakawa did Kuga.
Oh, okay. I thought Arakawa did both.
Inoue wrote every episode of Agito but one, which was done by Kobayashi. Kobayashi wrote one episode of Agito. He did every other episode.
See, who did? So, now I will admit,
now
Inoue Sr., I know it's a man, but Inoue Sr. is by no means my favorite writer. I would say if I had to choose from the trinity that we have of Kobayashi, Arakawa, and Inoue from the last 30 years, and I know there's others, but if I had to choose between that trio, because they've done a lot in the last 30 years, right?
Well.
Or is there another person you could put in like a quadruplet?
No, we'll go with them.
I'm just going to go with them. I would say my favorite is actually Arakawa.
See, my favorite of those three is Inoue.
Now, why is it Inoue?
Because Agito, Dawn Brothers, those are some of my top favorites from those franchises.
Now,
I really loved Fies, even though Fies
is Inoue as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. Fine.
Even though it might not make my top 10 writer series list, I still loved Vice.
Now, if I had to add new showrunners to it, I would say the showrunner who's done 01 Geats
Takahashi
is doing a good job. Yes, he's had some shit shows because I hate X8, but
01 Others.
I don't acknowledge the.
I'd rather watch X8 than 01 Others again.
Oh no shit. But Inoue is great. Now, that is to say, my favorite common writer of all time, if I have to go all the way back, is a Kobayashi series. Because I love Ryuki. Even having rewatched it, because I thought, do I love Ryuki because it's the first common writer series I saw? And I can honestly say, no, it's not. I love Ryuki because it had very expansive stories.
I do love Ryuki. It's just now having seen more Kamen Rider series, I did see more of the flaws with it.
Oh, no doubt.
But it was still an incredible series.
That's why now Akiko, I hope she gets a redemption arc like Junko did. Because Junko, as much as well, I was going to say, as much as I like Zenkaiger for being my Seinfeld, she has had a lot of flaws in all of the series she was the head writer for.
Now, Kubernetes also said they didn't like Akiko's works in Gotchard either. The episode she did there.
Well, I haven't seen Gotchard, but I heard it's a hot mess.
Now, 64 wants to know if you know any characters from Valiant comics. Have any favorites? I only know Magnus, the robot hunter, and Valiant was a comic line in the 90s. Was a comic company, like really low key comic company. That
well, I'm trying to remember if Valiant did anything for shit.
For shit?
No,
yeah, a lot of their comics were shit.
No, I thought Valiant did stuff for Sandman.
No, that was Vertigo.
Oh, Vertigo, thank you.
Valiant also did some of the Nintendo adaptations of comics.
So, probably for Valiant, no.
I'm trying to remember who. There was Magus, the robot. Magnus, the robot hunter. Like that. But there was somebody else I did actually like. I just can't remember who it was now.
Now, as we said, if you go to Vertigo, it will always be Sandman. My favorite character from the Sandman universe is actually Delirium.
Which is why you were really for, what's his name? Gaiman, when all the crap happened.
No, it broke my heart when I found out about Gaiman being a POS. But I will say, just on a quick side note, when my parents watched the Sandman series on Netflix, they actually loved it. When my parents were talking about their favorite characters, and when I said my favorite character was Delirium, my mother's comment was, that actually tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like...
She's like, yeah, because it's you.
And I'm like, thanks, Mom.
So, ZZ Dark said they saw a Grifter cosplay at a convention.
Oh, Grifter is my favorite from Wildcats.
Well, I was gonna say,
and he also appeared in X-Force.
Well, Wildcats.
Well, Wildcats is a
not
sequel.
X-Force. X-Force is Marvel.
Strike Force. Sorry.
But yeah, well, basically, yeah,
No, they have an X-Force as well.
No, X-Force is Marvel.
I swear they had.
No, Rob Liefeld had to create his own versions of X-Force.
Strike Force. Shut up.
Strike Force and Youngblood.
Shut up. I knew what I was talking about.
But yes, they were ripoffs of X-Force,
but they were '90s ripoffs.
Just like Wildcats was a ripoff of X-Men, but I still did really like Wildcats.
Oh, I love the cartoon for it too.
Cartoon was pretty cool because it also had an actual ending. Even though they completely gimped Voodoo, because the cartoon did not have Voodoo be a stripper.
Well, they couldn't for children!
And they didn't have her furry go-go boots.
Once again for children.
Yes, but still, those furry go-go boots were really cool. But
I
anyway.
know. I used to own go-go boots.
But anyway,
until I got old.
What do you think of Gob so far? Gob was great.
Gob is my redemption story for Junko. Because I feel like Junko finally got to show, because Junko had wrote 3 Sentai series, right?
Yes. And they were all...
And it wasn't until she got to do Kamen Rider that she truthfully demonstrated quality.
See, Emilio Lobato is excited for the return. I mean, it's not exactly a return of Metal Heroes, but they're excited for Gavon next year.
Actually, one of the first Toku economics that I want to do, Tokunomics, yes, is actually going to be on Gavon Infinity, and talking about the price of failure, not having actual numbers at this moment, but what the intrinsic cost of failure would be.
64. I never saw the 2003 Spider-Man series, and I think Unlimited is crap.
I actually can't wait for the 2nd season of the new Spider-Man series that they've been doing.
So I can't say I have a favorite for those. How many Discotheque Toku Time releases have there been?
Way too many.
Hold this. Well, I can find out. Well, sort of find out. Soul Brain is release 15. Actually, wait a minute. What am I doing? Where's Amazon?
Inoue wrote Jetman. Yes. Jetman was an incredible series.
Okay.
Master Betty. Hi, Master Betty.
So there's been about 19 Toku Time releases so far. Because Kamen Rider Amazon is number 17.
And Kubernetes says for their newer shows, they like Kuga the most. Kuga was by far incredibly well written. And it has my best shipping.
Why do you not like recap episodes? Because I feel like they're a waste of time most of the time.
No, here's why he doesn't like recap episodes. He watched Gundam
Seed Destiny. Which had...
I had to let you finish it.
Which had clip show, like a clip show every 5 episodes, it felt like.
4 clip show episodes.
No, 5.
Was it 5?
Because there was a episode 15.5.
Oh, yes,
that was a clip show. Or 14.5, something like that.
But 5 clip show episodes.
It's a 50 episode series. Episode 47 was a clip show to be the memories of a character who is dying.
So that is the reason he hates recap
Gundam
episodes.
Seed Destiny really ruined clip shows for me.
See, if it wasn't for that, he would not have a problem with recap episodes.
I just noticed the bentness on some of those shells over there.
We'll go through them later.
Anyway, but yes, that's really why I turned it.
It's funny because that's literally the reason. Because when we were watching Gundam Seed Destiny, he got lit with all the clip shows.
I don't have a favorite Toku series, Chinese Toku series, because I've never really watched one.
That's his next journey.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Discotheque release any of them.
I would actually like Discotheque, Shout, whomever, to release Toku series from other countries. China, Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, anywhere. I think it would be awesome to see how the cultural narratives are incorporated into those respective shows. Because I've seen K series and C series that have incorporated Japanese manga and have adjusted it for their localization, for their culture. Like my favorite manga series of all time, Hanayori Dango, I have seen the Korean, the Chinese, the Taiwanese, the Japanese adaptations of that show.
Let's see, Kabinata Nate says that almost all of Gotchard was pretty bad, so it doesn't really matter who wrote the episode. Master Betty asked about a show called G-Saris, which is which apparently stars Decade's actor. Have not heard of it before.
Did Decade do the Black Sun?
No.
No. Oh no, he is in JoJo. No, Yakuza.
Garo. Decade's actor was.
Oh no, Decade. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Drive's actor, who is doing.
Who was in Yakuza?
Yes.
Okay. Then Arcana Master finally watched the Ultraman Rising. That's the CGI movie on Netflix we never watched. They liked it.
Oh, holy shit.
What?
What time it is?
3 o'clock. Yeah, I know. And I'm getting hungry.
I haven't eaten except for a small thing. I had start new medication, which is making me not hungry at all.
Was wondering if you guys will review that Ultraman movie. I won't review the Ultraman Rising because it doesn't have a physical media release. We actually haven't even watched it. I've got so much other Ultraman to watch that I own that it's just been eh. If it gets a physical media release, then I'll eventually review it. Let's see. Rihanna's coming back for the next Garo series, which I'm excited for.
So is Ryuga, right? Or Ryuga?
Ryuga.
I had to remember I was pronouncing it.
Now you've got me. Wait, is it Ryuga?
No, it's Ryuga.
But let's see. I don't like recap episodes either. I already saw what happened before. Why bother retelling everything unless the series was bad? Like, don't.
Wow, you're an ass. No, to be fair, there are sometimes.
Then it makes me need to watch Agito.
Oh my god! Stop.
No, it's cool. Maybe.
Oh, shut up!
It sucks we never got a Youngblood animated series in the 90s.
I was actually surprised they never did anything for Youngblood.
Armor Heroes is very popular in China. It's like their Kamen Rider. I don't want to see Chinese fans storm Weebdom and brag about how water margin gave birth to anime and toku. Okay. But I'd love to see some made English subs for classic TV series like the Condor Heroes. Jizaris is on Mashiro Ine's official channel. I wonder how many Americans will accuse Judge Bao for racism because he did blackface.
Well, the problem, I don't know that person, but the challenge is, well, one, if they're not a white country, let's say,
well,
or Caucasian,
they're going on about because of Sabru Kimura from for Revice.
Well,
and
what
all
I
that
was
stuff.
going to say is, if you're not a predominantly Caucasian country, like a lot of Europe and America and Canada, where slavery was predominant, you don't understand the nuance of blackface. Now, I will say in the modern era, it doesn't matter what fucking country you're in, you understand racism by consuming
at this point
international media. You understand the negativity of racism. You understand the negativity. And I will say, if you're going to accuse another country of a cultural appropriation, but you do blackface and you don't see a problem with it in your country, that is hypocritical. I'm thinking of the time where a lot of Japanese people call out America for cultural appropriation because people will do like aesthetics that are predominantly Japanese in America, or Korean or Chinese,
or someone saying that a black person shouldn't be cosplaying as one
Japanese
of their characters. Well, they're the ones who will do blackface.
Exactly. Like, that is where I draw the line of the difference between cultural appropriation versus hypocrisy.
But anyway, we're not going to get on that subject. But yeah, we are getting hungry, so it is time to go. There were good points to these episodes. There were a lot of bad points. The editing was horrifying. The writing is bad. But at least Shino did a great job acting-wise.
And last note, please pray for the Buffalo Bills to finally make it through the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl again, because they're now making a comeback. It's now 21-24, and they're still in the third quarter. So they might still win. They might beat the Patriots, hubby.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. But anyway, on that note, as always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else you guys are clicking to support us. You can support us on Patreon and Bluesky at tokuaannetwork, Facebook, Instagram, Discord at Kaiju no Kami, website creativitybydesign.com. There are some links in the description below for GoFundMe's, one for health purposes, one to help the channel survive another 10 years. That is, yeah. And we're going to be at Holiday Matsuri next week. So if you're there, for any of you living in Florida, come say hi if you see us walking around. We're going to be doing press. And obviously, I have my Old Ranger review premiering tomorrow night, which was a lot of fun. And surprisingly, I didn't have as many copyright issues getting this up with YouTube than I expected.
Which I'm surprised about.
So am I. I'm still like waiting for them to pull a claim like 20 minutes before the premiere happens. But and then I recorded my Akiba Ranger review for Christmas. Hopefully I'll get that done in time for Christmas, because with everything going on, who knows?
Thankfully, family stuff is starting to calm down a little bit. He does have another doctor's appointment. He's had to start new pills. Thankfully for nothing.
Those are vitamins. That's not really pills.
Yeah, but it's to keep your ass alive.
No, actually, I'm perfectly fine. Now,
sadly, he is.
Now these vitamins are going to be messing with my system that it already has a set way to it. That I'll be like, okay, the vitamins is causing a little disruption.
No, it frustrates me. He's perfectly fine health-wise, and I have way too many health.
But anyway,
good night,
with that
everyone.
all, until next time, bye.
Bye.
And hopefully soon we'll do a Zets live stream.